You're listening to All Hands on Tech. Come along as we get to know the people and businesses behind the province's ever-expanding tech sector.
Each episode, we'll chat with local experts to uncover the hidden gems that make Nova Scotia a hub for collaboration, innovation, and creativity.
All Hands on Tech is proudly produced by Digital Nova Scotia, the industry association for Nova Scotia's growing tech sector. Hey, welcome back to All Hands on Tech. I'm Eilish.
And I'm Greg, and we are your new hosts for this third season.
Yeah, that we are. And we are so excited to bring you even more engaging conversations about all of the very cool things happening here in Nova Scotia's tech sector. So today we are diving into the future of personalized cardiac care with the launch of the Stethophone. Developed exclusively by Sparrow BioAcoustics, this groundbreaking software transforms your smartphone into a medical-grade stethoscope, revolutionizing how we monitor our heart health.
So here to tell us more about how this remarkable new technology is right in the palm of our hands is Mark Opauszky, who is the president and CEO of Sparrow BioAcoustics. Mark, thanks for taking the time to chat.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Okay, listen, we're going to jump into this really cool technology that you guys are behind. But first, we want to get to know you a little bit, of course. So we're going to do a little bit of a rapid fire question and answer period here. Are you okay with that?
Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to get started here with, are you more of a minimalist or a maximalist?
Oh, I'm most definitely a minimalist. I like simple things. I think simple things are fascinating.
Okay. Greg, you want to take the next one or do you want me to keep going?
You keep going.
Okay, I'll keep going here. Okay, I really wanted to ask this because I'm fascinated by this. If you were an athlete, what would you choose as your walkout song?
Is my walkout song?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an excellent answer. I think High Hopes by Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
Interesting choice.
A classics guy. We like that.
I like it.
Okay. Best piece of advice for somebody who's wanting to crack into the tech sector?
I think the most important thing is that you have to fall in love with a problem and not a solution. If you can fall in love with a problem sufficiently, your solutions and your decisions will be guided by the nature of that problem, and you'll get where you're going a lot faster.
That's so poetic.
I was going to say, technology and poetry don't seem to always, mesh, but very eloquent. Great answer.
Okay, I think that gave us a pretty good idea of who you are as a person. So let's jump into who you are as a, corporation CEO. We'll start with, for those who might not actually be familiar with Sparrow BioAcoustics, tell us a little bit about what your company actually does.
We're interested in early disease detection at scale. Of course, the biggest diseases, the largest killers that affect the population are things like cardiovascular disease, pulmonary disease, and related stroke events. And we became interested in the fact that through the power of sound bioacoustics, as in stethoscopes that have been used for many years by doctors, you can detect a lot of these diseases early, or at least screen for them or detect the progression of them. And so we thought to ourselves, what would it be like if we could give everyone in a very convenient way this power to help themselves get real medical information on how their heart and lungs are functioning anywhere, anytime. And we feel that that is a very big and important step in battling these debilitating and progressive diseases.
Wow. So understanding more about sort of, what you guys do, and then you guys are sort of spread all over the place. You guys started in Halifax, now you have offices in St. John's, Toronto, staff members all over the world. Tell us a little bit more about the growth that has happened for you guys since you first got started.
Well, the company was founded 5 years ago, and I would say that after the first couple of years of research, the team was fairly small, and then about 2.5 years ago, we pulled together a strategy after the initial work had been completed. We started to augment our staff and we started to grow. We were very fortunate in that we secured some excellent funding from Atlantic Canada sources. And the team has grown from 4 people to 40 in the last 2.5 years. We've established strong departments in technology, medicine, regulatory, quality management systems, and now we're growing in customer support and marketing and all of the elements that you need to have a functioning, safe, professionalized global company in the medical technology space.
Okay, let's kind of dive into, what that team actually does through the Stethophone. How exactly does it work? It's quite literally in the palm of their hand, like we talked about in the intro here. What is the Stethophone?
The important part about Stethophone is that there is nothing to ship or attach. People have a relationship already with their smartphones. It's in their hand. And for the concept to work the way we envision it, it needed to be incredibly convenient for both medical care professionals and for the average person to use. So it's basically a piece of software that you download onto your phone. Um, there is audio device processing algorithms and a number of other things that are going on that we've been able to secure patents for. And basically take the phone and you hold it to your chest and you hit record, and it will record your heart and lungs. And then it creates various medical outputs that can be interpreted by doctors. The concept is you can make these recordings at any point. So if you're feeling symptomatic, if you have shortness of breath, or if you have mysterious dizziness, or if you've been sort of feeling particularly symptoms that tend to come and go that can easily be mistaken for other things, you can record your heart at that point. And then later, when you're talking to your doctor, you can say, this is what was happening to me last Tuesday. What do you think? Is this an arrhythmia? Is there a murmur? Is there some other sound that's not normal that you would normally have been listening for if this happened to happen to me when I was in the clinic? And that's kind of where we're getting at as sort of a step one.
Wow.
Fascinating.
So getting into, I know you touched on it a little bit with sort of everyday people being able to have, that device available to them and to be able to take, those measurements. So who are you hoping would be like, who is the target demographic for using the technology?
Look, ultimately, we think this is something that could happen at population levels, at scale. We are starting with folks that have concerns about their heart health. Either you're in a high-risk group, or you feel like you've had symptoms that are not well explained. Perhaps you're on certain medications that have an effect on the way that your heart works. Or you may actually have comorbidities. If you have adult onset diabetes, or you've had other types of heart conditions, or you have pulmonary conditions, those things can affect how your heart functions as well. So all of these folks have reasons to want to have more information about how their heart's functioning, or if there's any progression in conditions that they already have.
Right. So again, I think you've, kind of like alluded a little bit to, a bit of an answer to this question, but how exactly do you guys feel that this is going to change, the everyday life and routine of the average user? Is this going to, lessen the amount of doctor's appointments and checkups needed? Is it more of like a peace of mind technology, or, a mixture of the two?
Look, it's an excellent question, and I think it's a mixture of the two. First of all, any proactive um, uh, activity that you undertake to be concerned and to about something like cardiac or even pulmonary conditions is important. These are progressive diseases, and sometimes they progress silently. So the earlier that they're caught, the earlier that they're detected, the more that can be done to both extend your lifespan and your health span. So right away, we want to give people the idea that they can do more than just worry or speculate or just wait 4 months until the next doctor's appointment. They can do something in the moment that is a convenient action to take if they're concerned, or if they believe that they're symptomatic. Of course, if you're really concerned, or you feel like you might be having some sort of cardiac event, or you have severe shortness of breath, you should immediately go to the hospital. We're not trying to be a replacement for any of that. We're also not a replacement for any of the standardized tests and in the diagnostic cycle today. We're something that happens before that. We're something that normal people can do, that they can bring to their doctors to enhance those medical dialogues that they have when they're speaking to their doctor. I have these concerns. I have these issues. We're on this medication. Here's how my heart's been working on a regular basis. Perhaps they're working with their care teams to say, look, we'd like you to record yourself at least once a month because we'd like to establish a baseline, and we'd like to understand if there's any anomalous sounds that are being developed. On one hand, it's a bit like like your home thermometer, but it's for your heart. It's a thing that you pull out that's close to you when you're not quite feeling right and you want to capture those moments. On the other hand, it can be more of a therapeutic device to say, look, I want to do this on a regular basis. It helps me stay connected to my body. I'm developing a really good baseline. And importantly, we are making these signals machine readable. And so as time progresses, there will be an enormous amount of information that we can pull out diagnostically, not only about the current state of your heart, but potentially looking back over a period of months or even years, how those things have been progressing. So we believe it is actually critically important to have this information yourself, so that certainly either our technology or other technologies in the future can take advantage of it.
Greg, before you jump in, I know you got the next question here, and it's a good one. I want the answer to it. But a question I should have asked right off the top, I guess, is why create this product? Was there a void that you found of, missing information? Was it just wanting to kind of give a little bit of the control back to the patient or the user? Like where did this, idea even come from to begin with?
Look, I mean, there's two statements there that I think are really important. Number one, the preponderance of these diseases are staggering. The CDC in the US thinks that potentially there are almost 100 million people in North America with some form of cardiovascular disease. Now, a lot of this is hypertension, but we're going right on up to heart failure or a degenerative valve disease, these sorts of things. It is the number one cause of death, and certainly one of the greatest contributions to socioeconomic disparity, not only in North America, but worldwide. So this is a big thing. It's a very big thing, both from a global economics perspective and from a lifespan perspective, from a health span perspective. It's a big, worthy problem. The second thing is that virtually everybody in our company has been touched by diseases like this, either as a caregiver or been directly affected as a patient. Our perspective is that we wanted to put the patient, the healthcare consumer, in focus here, not just the doctor. Our product can be used by doctors, and we encourage that a great deal, but we want it to have a broader usage. So when you combine those two ideas, it becomes not only a mission, but we think is a very worthy mission and certainly a worthy problem to pursue.
Absolutely.
Wow. I have a personal vested interest in this.
Yeah.
So Mark, I won't get into too many details, but my family has gone through some challenges with heart health. When I was in university, I had some symptoms and went through a couple heart surgeries myself. And perfect use case for this product. You felt something, but to try and replicate that feeling at a later date when you're in front of a healthcare professional is not something that is always something that you can do. So being able to sort of have that option to record that in the moment and then have someone look at it when, it's not necessarily acting up or, misbehaving. Yeah, that's incredible. So
It's the most useful thing you can do with your phone at that exact moment.
Absolutely.
And it's as simple as that. And that's what we wanted to give people. We didn't want them to have to connect something or to charge something up or, God forbid, attach something to your body. There's enough of that going on as there is. And I'm not being disparaging about any other products out there. Some of them work very well. But we wanted something that really scaled that anyone could use.
So when we look at just how amazing this product is and the work and the thought process behind how this can be widely applicable to so many different people, both on the physician side and then just your average sort of user. I think it's important that we highlight just some of the amazing accomplishments that you guys have had so far. And, Stethophone has received FDA clearance last year, as you know, for our listeners, for use by medical professionals in the United States, marking
Yes.
as the first ever FDA cleared smartphone stethoscope, software as a medical device. And then you guys went on to achieve another first in the industry landmark by receiving FDA clearance for use by consumers as well. So what
Yes.
does that mean for the technology itself? And then ultimately, what does that mean for your company to have this sort of clearance?
Well, health authority clearance, be it the FDA, be it Health Canada, or be it other health authorities in other countries, to us is of central importance. You are asking people to trust your device. You're asking people to some degree to rely on your device to guide their decisions and to guide their conversations with healthcare professionals. It needs to be an approved medical device. Stethophone is a Class 2 medical device, which is a serious designation. It requires that companies like ours operate under very strict regulatory controls, which means that everything from the way that the product is conceived of, designed, built, maintained, marketed, spoken about, and even future iterations of the product needs to happen in a very specific risk-controlled way, so that we operate predictably, so that we can guarantee the quality of our product both currently and in the future. And it's not just quality as a general term, it's medical quality. This is what anybody would expect from a medical device. There are, of course, non-medical devices out there that will do things for you, and some of them are very good, and some of them don't do anything. We wanted to and needed to be a medical device. The investment in this is significant. You have to build a significant organization. You have to bring in significant cross-functional teams that understand all the different elements of these things and can bring them together at speed in a way that can then service a market in a professional sort of business way. So it's a very challenging organization to build, but extremely fulfilling, especially if it's mission oriented the way that we have been. And certainly for me, it's been a huge privilege to be able to be part of this team. It's just outstanding. As a business, I think it sets our company apart from many other software companies out there, because we're in this whole other class of being not only a software company, but software as a medical device. FDA is recognized worldwide as a good quality global standard, as is Health Canada. And so that was a big place for us to start. It really put us on the map as an organization. And I think it gave us an awful lot of confidence that our approach, not only to the product and its functionality and its quality, but also conceptually our approach was going in the right direction. And so all of this was just, it was huge for us to be able to achieve these things. And we have a lot more in our future.
Well, congratulations from all of us at Digital Nova Scotia, of course. It's an incredible accomplishment. And I think you might have hinted at this a little bit in your last answer, but I know you guys have been piloting the Stethophone app with a group of Ukrainian cardiology clinics since last year. And earlier this month, it was used by doctors from a nonprofit during a 2-day aid trip that was in the contested area of Sumy Oblast, that region. So can you tell us a little bit about, that must feel pretty darn good to have your product over there doing some good.
Well, we obviously, the United States and North America in general was a target market for us. But we wanted to do as much good as soon as we can. And when it came time to deciding where we would start to pilot this product, Ukraine became, let's say, a focus for us. Number one, in terms of developed nations, they have some of the highest incidences of cardiovascular disease. They also have some of the highest rates of doctors to patients, and also a lot of displacement and other issues happening there due to the war and the other problems. So in many ways, it was an ideal place where we thought we could do some good almost right away. Their health authority is quite sophisticated. So we did have to seek healthcare or a health authority clearance in Ukraine, which we received. It was a very similar process to the FDA process. And once we had that, we were able to start to work with cardiology clinics there to say, look, both for people that are coming in and for people that can't come in, we have this device. It is a world-class digital stethoscope with recording capabilities, and that creates medical outputs and medical visualizations to help you take some of the subjectivity out of these things that were traditionally audio. And let's see if we can help some people. And the results to date, frankly, have been not only fascinating, but extremely encouraging. And we believe we've helped people.
Excellent. And I know you launched on Valentine's Day of this past year, which is very fitting. So what has the response been so far?
We launched our base version of the product in the United States in the U.S. Apple Store on February 14th. It was a soft, fairly quiet launch. We didn't send rockets off into the sky or anything like that. We were easing into it. We're a small company, and we're trying to take things in very responsible steps. The response actually was a little greater than we expected. We did have quite a bit of traffic, even though we hadn't done very much marketing. There were clearly some people that were waiting for something in their pocket that would be a medical grade product, and I think that appealed to them. We had some very strong positive feedback from users, which was very validating for us, that they believe the product needed to exist, that they appreciate the way it functioned. We had some good critical feedback from some folks who had a lot of experience with these sorts of things, and that helped us validate what our next steps were going to be in terms of improving the product and working some of the kinks out. And I would say the most important thing that we've been able to prove is that a lot of people downloaded the product and they successfully used it to create high quality recordings of their cardiac audio. And that was always the big issue, is what was going to be, can people really record their own chest sounds in a way that is of medical grade? Will they figure it out? Will they be able to do it? Will there be problems? And it turns out they can. I mean, there was a time when many years ago, folks thought you couldn't pump your own gas. You'll blow yourself up. There was a time when people thought you couldn't make your own investment decisions. Now we do it on our phones. We believe that you can record your own heart and lung sounds, that you can collect your own medical data and be able to use that to get better care. And what this launch proved to us is that not only is it feasible, but it seems to be working.
Nice. I mean, from a patient standpoint, I have to imagine, I know myself, there's been times that I've finally been able to get my doctor on the phone or get in to see them in person. And it's like, well, it's to the point now that, like you mentioned, Greg, the idea of, trying to replicate and maybe we don't want to replicate, a arrhythmia or something like that. So the idea of having that as, a soundbite that your doctor can listen to and, diagnose or hopefully from there. I think that given the state of our healthcare system as well right now, and I don't mean specifically here just in Nova Scotia, because I know it's across the country, but I just feel like the opportunities are endless for something like this.
Oh, definitely. I think, the main thing for me that stands out about a product like this is the fact that data, having yourself equipped with as much data as possible when you're going in to have a more informed conversation, with your physician and to have that readily available versus let's, check back in another 6 months or, hey, I have some data that's of this level of quality that you can take it and review it and, eliminate some of those barriers to be able to then, conduct an assessment. I think that's fantastic. And it just gives you, more data means, more possibilities to be able to find trends in your own health and hopefully for many catch things early. Early detection is the biggest lifesaver that's out there when it comes to heart health, and hopefully this just continues to make an impact for people.
Yeah,
I think there's a strong connection between people's sense of agency in terms of healthcare and their outcomes. If if you have data, you're completely in a different place. You are no longer a passenger in your health journey. You're a participant and possibly even a driver. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, that's not for everybody. Some folks would prefer a more passive program, and that suits their personalities, that suits their sense of who they are, and that suits their care journey. But I'm personally a strong advocate of being a part of your own care team. And that means that you need to bring something to the table to help doctors help you. And good doctors do want to help you. They do respond to this well. And this is something I think that will fundamentally help at scale how we get the right care, the right tests at the right time for the people that need them.
Absolutely. Okay, listen, I think that might be a good time to switch gears just a little bit here, Mark. We're getting a little bit of a shameless self-plug in. Sparrow BioAcoustics, you guys won the Best of Tech Award last year at our Tech Forward Awards, of course. So congratulations first and foremost on that. Our nominations actually just recently opened up for this year's award. So can you tell us a little bit about what it meant for your company to take that award home last year?
First of all, we were honored and surprised at the same time. I mean, look, it's great to be recognized. And one of the things that really struck us was just how many great companies were up for the award. And I'm very proud not only be a Nova Scotia company, but in a broader sense, an Atlantic Canada company, and be in be in this group of up and coming tech organizations in healthcare, but also in general. It's really a great place to be growing a tech company right now, and to be recognized, this early, in this cohort of organizations is a big honor, and we're grateful and happy to participate and looking to give back any way that we can.
And participating again by nominating yourselves for the 2024 Tech Forward Awards.
I don't know if it's right if we go twice, like twice in a row. We
You gotta
might get
leave some for the other people, right?
we got to leave room for other people. We might get nominated for something else. And we're always interested in these things. It's a way for us to get out and speak to people and talk to folks about what we do. And that's always helpful because spreading the word does matter. But we also learn things by being part of these sorts of endeavors, and you get to meet other tech companies, and you get to be part of a community. So that's a big part of it for us too.
Well, it's a big part of it for us at Digital Nova Scotia as well. So, Mark, thank you so much for taking the time. Congratulations on this incredible product. I'm so glad that you guys are getting some positive feedback. I think that's only going to continue.
Absolutely. We're really excited to see, how the company grows over time, how your impact continues to sort of widen in the medical space. And, we'll be here rooting for you guys in your journey, and excited to, showcase what's going on right here in Nova Scotia. And I think we need to do more of that. So excited to, have you on here today, and looking forward to seeing what's next for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Recorded by This Is Marketing, unblanding branding since 2015.